Alright, this is Mr. Sanders, and I just got done watching the 2013 Royal Rumble match. And, it kind of went as I expected it to. The pre-show match, which was Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz for the United States Championship, this was actually a lot better of a match than I expected it to be, and it was pretty much all because of Antonio Cesaro and a lot of the cool moves that he brought out. Yeah, the match was actually really well worked for the time they had, and the pace was actually pretty cool. It was short but entertaining, but very entertaining. I only gave it like a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, but for the length of time they had, it's a very appropriate type of match. I'd actually check it out because it's short. You're not gonna you're not gonna lose much time on it. Anyway, on to the actual show. The opening match was the tag team was the World Heavyweight Championship match between Alberto Del Rio and Big Show in a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is actually really heavy strike bait. This actually had a lot of really hard hitting moves, and every time someone got hit, you just felt it. My only problem was that a lot of the early long counts early on were kind of dragged. But it actually ended up working a lot better later on because they actually did end up having a lot more tension during the more hardcore moments. I thought it was a really fun match, and I thought ADR pulled off the role of the cheating face pretty well. I gave this match like a 8 or 9 out of 10. Alberto Del Rio won when he held Big Show down with the cross arm breaker, and Ricardo Rodriguez duct taped Big Show's feet together. Yes, duct tape. I am serious. And I forgot to mention that Antonio Cesaro retained his United States Championship clean against The Miz. After that, there was a short Dolph Ziggler promo, and it was pretty good work by Dolph Ziggler, and it was kind of interesting to hear his plan of what he was trying to do. What he said he was going to do was win the Royal Rumble, cash in his money in the bank on the World Heavyweight Championship, and then challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania and unify the titles. That was actually a pretty cool idea. But what was so weird about this was E Langston did his best announcer's voice, and it was just so weird to hear that. It was just like, where the fuck did that come from? After that, we basically got kind of a vignette of like dozens of superstars talking about why they're going to win the Royal Rumble and why this. It was actually really cool, although no one really was able to stand out because of it, because everyone had such a short amount of time. After that was the Tag Team Championship match between Rhodes Scholars and Team Hell No. Each wrestler, I think, played their role pretty well, with Kane being the big guy, Damian Sandow having his particular offense, Rhodes and, Daniel Bryan all having their own offense. The match was a little bit short, but what saved it was the really, really good crowd during this. Like, they reacted to everything, and that's what really made the match entertaining. And the absolutely hilarious commentary by JBL. It was some of the funniest things I have ever heard. And really, for the rest of the night, he was just hilarious. He was on a roll. I would call this an above-average tag match, but that's made all the more entertaining because of all the circumstances surrounding it. I gave it 8 out of 10. After that, they did a little funny Team Hell No promo that was supposed to be linking up to the Royal Rumble and the fact that they were both in it. And then the usual numbers for the Royal Rumble thing started up. And starting out, we already knew that Ziggler was going to start the Rumble at number 1. And we got a pretty cool surprise. Y2J Chris Jericho returned at number 2. Goldust returned at number 8. Godfather made his return at number 17. And that was actually all really cool. I thought as a Rumble match this was a lot of fun, but the problem was it had a great beginning, it had a great middle, but its end was just poor. After a while, it just kind of died out. Cody Rhodes, I think, was probably one of the best looking guys here. Like, he got more heat than everybody. Everyone who he eliminated just got a huge amount of boos, and it was actually quite smug, and that smug look he would get every time he did that was just awesome. I love the idea of him and his own brother fighting in the Royal Rumble, and I thought he was like the standout of this. Another one was Dolph Ziggler lasting a really, really long time in this and being almost getting eliminated so many times, but always getting right back in. And you know, all these returns I just listed, and a lot of the cool things. Bo Dallas lasted a really long time. Even though I think they showed like a small video package of what happened, but they didn't give him an interview. But I thought they did a good impression here, where they had him eliminate Wade Barrett, and then Wade Barrett would attack him back and eliminate him post-elimination. And I thought like the first like 40 minutes, or like the first 40 minutes or so was a lot of fun. But then, like once it started to get down to the nitty-gritty, it came down to Ziggler, Jericho, and Sheamus, Ryback, and John Cena. Like once Ziggler got eliminated, it kind of lost all really good tension. I think it's because a lot of people just stopped caring, because it's like John Cena or Ryback. They're kind of two different flavors of very similar things. So it's like, can you really get invested in a lot of it? And just like my prediction earlier yesterday said, John Cena won. Yeah. And like I thought. And this leads into exactly what I thought it was. At this point, I kind of left because I needed to talk to someone about something. And Rock did a promo, but I caught the further end of it, and it didn't seem that good, in my opinion. God, it kind of pains me to say that when I say a Rock promo wasn't very good, or I didn't think it was good. Then again, I didn't watch all of it. But anyway, that led into CM Punk versus The Rock for the WWE Championship. They actually went into some pretty hard striking action very early on. Oh yeah, I forgot to rate the Royal Rumble. I gave it, poor ending aside, I still thought it was a lot of fun, so I gave it a 9 out of 10. But Punk versus Rock, they actually went at it pretty fast. Like right at the opening bell, they were just straight up punching each other and kicking each other. Went outside, slammed each other. And one thing I thought was really funny, actually no, I thought Punk and Heyman were just hilarious in this match. Like Punk, after Rock like took the cover off the Spanish announce table, CM Punk wrote it right back, you know, and he even kind of apologized to the Spanish announce team, which I thought was really hilarious. But a sort of problem with this match was that even very early on, there were a lot of rest holds. It was kind of a slow pace, even from the beginning, and I didn't like that the match was also relatively short. Also, Punk, like, I think Punk did look good, but I don't think he could have looked as good as Rock, some of the capability of The Rock could have put over. But I'm sure people are going to talk more about the ending. Lights, Punk Rock goes for the People's Elbow. Lights go out. Very clearly, the Shield comes out and powerbombs Rock through the table. Punk puts him back in. Pins Rock. 1, 2, 3. Retains the championship. Vince comes out, says, it's very clear the Shield came out here. You're about to get stripped. And then Rock goes on the mic and says, no, we're not ending it that way. Restart the match. The match restarts. Punk actually gets a lot of really cool offense in the early going. And it looks like he's got Rock on the ropes, but nope. Rock just hits him with the spine buster, People's Elbow, boom, done. And Rock is now the WWE Champion. I really wish, like, admittedly, I'm not that fond of, like, the Ring of Honor style stuff where it'll be, like, a million false endings. But this sort of match kind of feels like it should have that. Like, how are you going to make Punk look great in comparison to a guy like Rock when you don't let him look great? It's a match where the inner booker or the inner wrestling fan in me really wishes that they would do something to make Punk look a lot better. You know, it still kind of makes him look like ultimately he's not a top star, and that's what kind of hurt the match. Now, I will say this match was very tense. Like, from the beginning to the end, it really felt like there was this air of tension that really did kind of make every little hit feel like it had a lot of meaning, but it felt also really unsubstantial. As I said, the match was really short, and it kind of felt like it should have had a much more dramatic ending. I gave it a 7 or 8 out of 10. Now, As I said, there were a lot of video packages. This show was kind of overfilled out with too many video packages, and that's what I would say was its biggest flaw. But in terms of, like, just stuff on it that was good, yeah, there were a lot of really, really good things on this show. Like, pretty much every match is worth watching, particularly the Rumble. And I thought that, like, the pace of it at the beginning was very good. But the Rumble kind of says it all. Great beginning and middle, poor end. Like actually no, I would say Rock versus Cena is not like a poor end. It's just like it felt like it should have ended better than this. You know, it's setting up Rock versus Cena too. Yeah, once in a lifetime, my fucking bulls. But yeah, I guess that's what we're getting. This is a sort of thing where, like, the more you post, you start to think about it. It's like, what is this building up? And that's what's sort of hurtful. Like, if I just as something to watch and just something to, have in front of you, it's very, very good. It's just like, when you think about it, it's like, when you think about what this will ultimately spin off to, that's what's ultimately sort of the problem. Rhodes Scholars versus Team Hell No, Team Hell No retained, so they're still going to have the titles. What about Rhodes Scholars? What are they going to do from here? John Cena wins the championship. Like, he fucking needs any more main event matches. Rock wins the title, so they're just going to do another program we've already seen. It's kind of weird that ADR and Cesaro look like the ones who are going to have the most interesting feuds after this. But anyway, that's my review of Royal Rumble 2013. So how would I rate it overall? I'd actually give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's the sort of thing where you really have to be in a certain mindset to enjoy this. Like, just not think about how things will ultimately be affected. Which might make it actually a pretty good DVD purchase, because in DVD purchases, a lot of times you can just take what's in front of you because you don't have a ton of context around you. So it's actually, I think this actually would be a pay-per-view that's better with less context. But anyway, this has been Mr. Sanders, and I hope you've enjoyed. What did you think of the 2013 Royal Rumble? Share your thoughts down below. Anyway, catch you guys later.